Just take a moment to admire the fact I just hit a fairway.
There's only two things that can happen. You can hit a good shot or a bad shot, so why waste time doing it?
And wherever I set course records or whatever, I would be barefooted, drunk, playing golf, making every 20-footer I looked at.
Right at it. Right at it! Oh, he's done it again!
This is the dumbest hole I've ever played in my life.
Come on then, Shane. Knock it close. Shane Lowry is the Open champion.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Fairway Finders. It is finally here, Masters Week. We're all very excited, and it's the first time that a lot of you can probably see us as well. So, as you can see, I'm joined by Steve and Donica. How are we doing, lads?
Buzzing, bro. Buzzing.
Deep
Masters
breaths.
Week is here.
Deep
Finally.
breaths. We're here. We're here. I can't believe we're actually here. I'm so excited. I obviously love to do the all yap, but I just cannot fucking wait for a ball to be hitting anger.
And listen, I must say, I apologize for anyone having to look at Brew and Donny's face for the next hour or so. I mean, it's not something you'd wish upon anyone, but look, it's a new world that we're in.
Hey, at least I'm speaking to you from a dungeon 400 feet underneath the Earth's crust. That's what it looks like.
You're also speaking.
If you're watching us on YouTube, just focus on Steve's lovely non-PC flag there.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's gonna get flagged 100%.
It's gonna get flagged, is it? Good fun there, bro.
I'll have to put an old blur over it or something. You know, may as well just blur your face as well when I'm at it.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
For those of you listening, Steve has a lovely flag behind him of an Ireland flag with a harp, and on the harp there's a lovely lady, and that lovely lady is not wearing a bra. It's cartoon. Anyway,
it's natural.
Let's get you all that. We're here to talk about the Masters. This is the most anticipated week of the year, if not the biggest of the year.
Donny, sorry to interrupt you, Donny. You know what we always forget to do is give out our socials, right? So how about we start off on the social side first?
I want to do it this week, and it's bloody important this week because we are about to announce the biggest prize we've ever given away. Like, it's a holy shit giveaway, not just a regular giveaway, right? So the socials, you'll find us on Twitter and on Instagram. We're Finders Fairway on Twitter. We're Fairway Finders Pod on Instagram. Don't ask why they're different. It just happened, right? Basically, this week we wanted to kick off major season with something big. We want to obviously grow our listenership, but we also just want to interact with you guys. And we were thinking, what the hell could we do? What could we give away that would be a fucking awesome prize? And especially kind of trying to tie it into the Masters somehow. So I was thinking, can we get green fees to Augusta? The answer to that is not yet. We are working on it. We are fucking playing Augusta before you guys. No offense, right? Then I started thinking about like clubs. Then I started thinking about Tiger, obviously. Then I started thinking about Tiger, Scotty Cameron, Newport putter. Did we buy the real one? No. It's hundreds of thousands, if not millions. But we did buy one. So we are giving away by Thursday. We are giving away, sorry, that's not true. By Sunday night, when we know who wins the Masters 2022, on our Twitter account, we are going to give someone a Scotty Cameron Newport putter. Doesn't matter where in the world you are, we will get it to you. It is brand spanking new. A putt has never been hit with it. It is a work of art. It's actually beautiful. How to win this thing? How could you possibly win such a fucking awesome prize? Really easy. All you have to do, follow us on Twitter or Instagram. You'll see the posts with the competition. Quote tweet us on Twitter with who you think is going to win the Masters 2022. We know we're going to get loads of entries because this is literally the most glorious putter in golf. You can't get a more beautiful looking thing. It's worth about $500 somewhere in the region. So if you want to enter, head over to our Twitter, Finders Fairway, quote tweet us with who you think is going to win the Masters. Do yourself a favor and just put Cam Smith in. But whoever you think is going to win, if you're one of the few who picks the winner on Sunday, we're going to go through all the list of names and someone is getting a brand spanking new Scotty Cameron Newport putter. And I pray to God that you're not left-handed like me.
Yeah,
otherwise that'll be a problem.
It will be a problem. Look, we'll adapt to it, Donny. And they also had to be following Fairway Finders on Twitter at the time of winning as well. So just one point to pull you up on, Donny. You said no matter where in the world you're listening to, we will put a little bit of an asterisk on that. Your country has to have some sort of a postal service that we can actually mail. You'd be fucking surprised these days. You know what I mean? I won't name any countries in particular, but you know, you got to be careful.
Once it's conceivable for us to get you the putter.
And also,
obviously,
And like one final thing, one entry per person, lads. Don't be fucking tweeting the entire field under the post, because you won't.
We could name names of people on Twitter who do that, but we won't, because we're respectful.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a fair point. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, if you want to fire off 5 guys you like, that's okay. I'm not entirely against that. But yeah, Scotty Cameron, brand new Newport putter, is up for grabs. Tell us the winner. And if you get it right, you will go in a hat. There's obviously only one prize, so there is an element of a raffle. I would love to rig it because I want this putter for myself, but we think it's probably unethical. And if Father Ted has taught us anything, it's to not rig raffles. So
yeah. And we're all praying here that Sandy Lyle goes and wins it on Sunday. So
we get to keep the putter. Yeah.
I tell you what, if Sandy Lyle or Larry Moyes get this thing done, I'm calling now live on the podcast. That putter is mine. Right.
Well, I don't know about that, Donny. We'll have to talk about that off air. But
yeah, exactly.
speak to my lawyers. I've called dibs, and dibs is legally binding.
Not sure about that now, but we'll see.
Okay, look, that is a brilliant prize. That's a brilliant giveaway. It's half a thank you so much to everybody who's listened over the last, 9 months. And also, yeah, obviously, we'd love to grow the podcast. If you enjoy it, if you listen to it regularly, if you left us a review, it actually does. We've actually now got a heap of reviews, and they're all 5 stars on Spotify, and it does really make us smile in the morning. That we started this for a laugh, and now it's kind of going somewhere else. And we're just so thankful to everyone in the golf community who listens, who gives us feedback, positive or negative. And I really hope that it's one of you guys, one of our regular listeners. If you want to tell us that you are a regular listener, then that'll definitely help your chances. If you want to become a regular listener, then when we give you the package, all expenses, trip to Augusta to play, you'll have a really good chance of winning that as well.
Exactly. Well, boys, should we get stuck in?
Let's
start talking Augusta. Any other business? Shall we mention the Valero Texas Open? No,
don't need to talk. Let's not even bother.
JJ Spawn.
Yeah, well, congrats to JJ Spawn. Yeah, a few backers I saw on our side. We had 2 shared places. Keegan Bradley, great again on Sunday. He got tied 8th. And Brew, you had someone.
I had Gary Woodland. Woodland again.
Yes.
Yeah, I had a big fat duck egg this week.
Top 10, Gary.
Look, it happens. If we win last week, the chances of winning back to back are smaller than just doing one. So we're better off not backing JJ Spawn last week.
Yeah, 100%. Well, so look, that's enough said. Let's get into it, right? So
I think if you get John Rahm in the final group on Sunday, I think he stands on next and he's going to get it done.
Because the winner this week is going to be my one and done pick. I'll put it on Twitter. Put my cards down on the line. I'm going for Rory McIlroy.
I'm hopping aboard the Billy Ho train. He's 28, I think you can get him.
Straight off the bat, not even going to waste time. Paul Casey and Sam Burns, previous winners, both over 22-1. I think that's an absolute value bet there. My third pick is Hideki Matsuyama. I got him at 18s this morning.
I don't think normally we give you a little course introduction. I don't think it needs much of an introduction at all. We're back to Augusta National. It's been the host of the Masters since 1934. It's a par 72, but this year it's playing as its longest as it ever has. So it's 7,510 yards, located in Augusta, Georgia. It's an Alistair McKenzie design with Bobby Jones with a little bit of input, and it's been redesigned by multiple different people. What do we know about Augusta? We know they have lightning fast greens, slopey greens. So avoiding 3 putts is absolutely crucial. Bent grass greens, relatively wide fairways, relatively big greens. And in terms of past winners, we have Hideki Matsuyama coming back to defend his crown from 12 months ago. A couple of doubts about him in terms of his, how the body is feeling, how the neck is feeling specifically. Prior to that then, boys, John, help me out. Go back through 2020. Well, obviously DJ won in November.
DJ Sergio, Reed, Danny Willett, Adam Scott. 2014 was... Who won 2014?
Just going to pull it up here, boys. Bear with me for a second.
Jay don't know, sorry.
We obviously had Tiger in 2020. Let's not forget that.
2019. Well,
2019,
obviously. A lot of really incredible winners of this event down the years. It's the most iconic prize probably in golf, is it? And I say that in terms of, well, I'll put it this way, right? For non-golfers, for people who have no interest in golf, or don't really know anything about golf, right? And aren't really in the sphere. They're just humans of the world, of which there are many who aren't into golf. I know it's hard to imagine, but they exist. If you were to ask them like one thing about golf, what's one special thing about golf? Someone will go, oh yeah, they play for a jacket, or there's this big jacket that they get. Don't they get a jacket?
The big green jacket, yeah.
Agree.
Probably made as famous by Happy Gilmore as anything. But even though it was a golden jacket. I know, but it still counts.
Right.
Sorry, yeah.
I have it up here, Danny, right? I have it up here. I'll rattle through it quickly. So 2021, Hideki beat Will Zalatoris at 10 under par. 2020, Dustin Johnson, 20 under par, which was a November Masters, so plays a little bit different. Beat Sungjae Im, Cameron Smith. 2019, the comeback of all comebacks, Tiger Woods, 13 under, beat DJ Brooks and Xander by one shot. 2018, Patrick Reed beat Ricky Fowler. 2017, Sergio beat Justin Rose. And 2016, Danny Willett beat Jordan Spieth and Lee Westwood. And for what it's worth, Jordan Spieth won it in 2015 as well, who I know is going to be a popular pick this week. So that's where we are. We're going to do the bets a little bit different this week. Do you want to give us an indication of that?
Yeah, so we want to put some structure on this because I know everybody's looking for, that golden piece of knowledge or that bit of insight as to, the keys to win this. The field we've split the field in 3 different ways this year. So because there's only 89 players, we've got smaller odds, we've got a smaller field, we've got this big log jam at the top of guys. There's like 12 guys who are 20 to 1 or shorter. So instead of just going, I fancy him, blah, we're actually going to go through every single one of the 12. We've done reasons to love and reasons to swerve. So this is give you full transparency. We'll do our picks after. We're then going to go into the midfield where actually most of the winners have come from in recent years. So Hideki was 45 to 1. The DJ was 8 to 1 favorite, but Tiger Woods was 40 to 1. Patrick Reed was 45 to 1. Sergio was 50 to 1. Danny Willett was 66. So most of the winners recently have come from the midfield. We'll do the midfield, and then obviously we're going to talk about Larry Mize's, prospects of winning the green jacket. We're going to do the outsiders. So these are guys who are like 100 to 1 and above. And rather than going through them all, we're just going to pick out a few of our fancies.
Yeah,
so,
we'll give our picks as we're going along, will we?
Yeah, depending on what you want to listen to first or where your priority is. Obviously, we'd love you to listen to the whole preview, but we're going to do all the fabs, midfield, and then the long shots. And then we'll be back tomorrow, which is Tuesday. We're going to do first round leaders. We're going to look at some prop bets. We've got a couple more guests coming on. It's all jam-packed. It's all
jam-packed. It's Masters week. Showbiz, baby. Right, why don't you kick us off there, boys? Let's go through the top of the market. Donny, I think you've a little bit of insight done for us on who to go for. And listen, I'm shocked that I haven't heard the two of you just rant about Jon Rahm, which always happens every
I'm shocked too.
I don't think I've heard anybody tip Jon Rahm. And even though he should be world number 1 and he's the favorite in the field, I don't think I've heard anybody tip him up this week. So over to you, Donny.
We live in a very peculiar universe in that if you'd asked me 6 months who's winning the Masters, I would have shouted at you. I wouldn't have even been polite. I would have been like, how dare you ask such a stupid and simple and obvious question? And here we are 6 months later, and it's kind of hard. It's not hard to root for Jon Rahm or fancy him this week. I mean, he's posted 4 top 10s here in the last 4 years, but he's not getting a lot of airtime this week.
He's not at all.
Let's do so. The top 12 in the market are as follows, right? Jon Rahm is our 10 to 1 favorite. We got JT at 12s. We've Cam Smith at 16s. Scotty Scheffler 16s. DJ at 18s. Morikawa at 20s. Rory in a couple of places you can get at 20s. Koepka you can get at 20s in a couple of spots. Victor Hovland you can get at 20s. These are all actually bet 365. Hovland 20s. Xander 22s, Spieth 22s, and Patrick Cantlay, who's actually available at 23s. That's odd. So of those guys, we're doing reasons to love, reasons to swerve. Yeah, let's start with Jon Rahm. So in terms of reasons to love, the reasons to love are fairly numerous.
Yeah.
So the guy,
I'll let you do the reasons to love. Do you know what I mean?
You're going to do
the reasons to swerve.
Yeah, fair enough. So, the thing with John Ram was world number one from July 2021 up until last week or 2 weeks ago when Scotty took it off him. He's got 4 successive top 10s at Augusta, so he loves Augusta. He's also got the lowest aggregate score to par in the last 6 majors of anyone. So he's 31 under. Take all the major scores, the last 6 together, he's 31 under, and Scotty is 5 behind him. In terms of his optics, even this year, so John Rahm's kind of been a bit off the boil for a while. He's 5th strokes gained total in 2022, 12th strokes gained approach. And in terms of strokes gained total at Augusta, this is since 2015, he's 3rd. So there's a lot of reasons there. Like John Rahm has to contend. Surely John Rahm contends. Like obviously he's the US Open champion. He is, I mean, he's not world number one anymore, but a lot of people would still probably say he's world number one. So why would you swerve him? Well, I'll give you one data point and I'll throw it over to Steve because I'm sure Steve has plenty too. In 2022, John Rahm strokes gained around the green, 170th. He's been really poor around the green. He's been really poor putting. He's essentially had the yips on the greens. And it seems like all the attention that has been put on his putting in terms of the media, a lot of people asked him about it every week. He was visibly annoyed in a press conference about it a couple of weeks ago. It seems like now his sublime tee to green game is kind of suffering a little bit as well. So his numbers recently have not been good. And he's still struggling with the putter. So he's had negative strokes gained putting in his last 4 tournaments.
Yeah, that's not what you want. Listen, reasons to fade John Rahm. Number one, he's not a closer. John Rahm is not a closer. So
nonsense.
John Rahm went through all of last season. He won once. He got handed the US Open by Louis Oosthuizen, made a couple of putts, to be fair, to avoid going into a playoff, but ultimately handed the US Open by Louis Oosthuizen. This season hasn't won. He's been in contention many a times. He's gone off short price favorite many a times. Played well, you know what I mean? He's got you some each way money, but if you're backing him at, I don't know, 4-1, as he's been priced up at times, you're not going to get your money back for that. So just ultimately reason number one not to back John Rahm. He's not a closer. He's backdoored a couple of good finishes in majors. He's won US Open, but not for me.
By the way, just like this was supposed to be like a non-biased kind of view. Like your hatred of John Rahm is just
I don't hate John Rahm. I don't.
Seeping through my microphone.
No, to be fair, I do get it. No, to be fair to Steve now, I do get it, but let's keep the same energy when it comes to Rory in about 3 players' time. So I'm saying I will. Oh, okay. I'm saying to your win of last year, that's going to be a top quote for me in about 3
We'll take a very quick vote, and we'll do this for every player in the top of the market. Are you reason to love or reason to swerve? Brew. Are you swerving or loving, should I say?
Well, I mean, technically, I have to say I'm swerving because he's not. I'm not backing him. I think he's definitely a player that could easily go out and win on this weekend. But I just think with the likes of Cam Smith, Scotty Scheffler, Patrick Cantlay, there's just a lot bigger hitters in better form right now, and that's what I'm using personally.
I'll be fair, right? Between us, I'll give you're allowed 2 vetoes each, where you can say I'm not loving and I'm not swerving. They're your 2 vetoes. I'll swerve. He just doesn't look himself. I cannot actually believe I'm swerving John Rahm.
I know.
For the Masters. I can't believe I'm doing it because I've been so sweet in him for the whole year. There's only one guy. There's only one guy I've had ahead of him. There's only one guy I've had ahead of him the whole year, and but I'm swerving John Rahm.
Yeah.
All right. So there you go. 3 swerves. Wow. 3 swerves on the favorite. Interesting. Right. Next man up, Justin Thomas. Reasons to love Justin Thomas. Super consistency, ultra consistency. Outside the top 20 in one of his last 9 stroke play events. He is just a menace on leaderboard. He loves being in contention. He often has a run at winning. Unfortunately, as a reason to swerve, he hasn't won since the 2021 Players. Now, that performance was sensational, and everybody thought JT would win at least one major the preceding year, and he hasn't. And he's cut a little bit of a frustrated figure. In terms of his optics, in terms of what he does on a golf course, we kind of all know his approach play is just, if he's not the best in the world, he's probably next. statistically, he's 5th strokes gained approach in 2022. He was 3rd last year. So reasons to love are consistency, as in, if you want 4 days of fun, if you put 20 quid on Justin Thomas, if you want 4 days of, Justin's knocking around, you'll get your 4 days. I think. I'm pretty sure you'll get your 4 days of, he's not going to miss a cut. He's not going to be languishing down the bottom of guys who make Saturday and out early. I think he will be thereabouts. Reasons to swerve. Like, he's been here quite a few times now, and you forget that JT's only 28, but he came out the gate so fast, so young. He only contended once since 2016, and that was at Augusta, the November edition of Augusta, because of COVID. So it was a totally different golf course, soft, totally different conditions, different temperatures, the whole thing. Yeah, so that's a big reason to swerve, is that even though he's posted decent numbers around here, he's posted plenty of top 20 finishes, he only has 1 top 10. That's a reason to swerve.
Yeah, Danny, on Justin Thomas, right, fully respect him. I think tee to green, he's one of, if not the best in the field. Like, just so consistent, so good, very few mistakes in him. For me, it's just his putter that I can't get behind. He's been in contention to win since that Players multiple times, and his putter has just let him down. Boys are knocking it in from 15, 20 feet consistently, and JT isn't doing it. So the one place you don't want to go to with any way of a dodgy or not confident putter is Augusta. And I just think for that reason, given I think he will give you a run for his money, there is a chance that he'll turn the putter on and he'll win comfortably enough. But I just can't get behind him at that price with that putting ability right now.
That's fair. The beauty of putting, like, we talk about this all the time on the podcast, but what you want to look for when you want to pick winners every month, like, or every week, is putting variance. That if you have a guy who, like, you can find putting like anywhere. At any time, you can find a few days, you can find the right kind of greens, you can pick up a trick, you can fucking listen to Bob Rotella when you're going to sleep, whatever it is, at any level is putting, because it's not that really mechanical. A lot of it is in terms of your mentality and your ability to read greens and things like that. But yeah, I agree. He's 99th strokes gained putting this season.
And listen, one quick reason to love him is that he's now sporting joggers on his Thursday to Sunday outfit. So that's obviously a plus. More joggers in the game, better.
100%. We are fans of the joggers.
I don't know. I respect him as a golfer. I've just never liked him. I don't know why. I don't know why. I don't have any reason not to. I've just never been a fan of him. I just really don't. And I don't think he should be second favorite in the Masters. I really don't. I don't agree. To be honest, I don't agree with Ram being 10-1. I don't really agree with Justin Thomas being 12-1 either. I just don't like. I just think a lot of players above them are just far better golfers recently, is what I'm saying. So I think I think there are better options at the price, given his history around Augusta. So moment of truth, and I think I know where this is going. JT at 40-1. Are we swerving or are we loving?
I'd sit on the fence about him because he could show up and win.
I'd still swerve, I think, to be honest with you.
Right, Steve's used the veto.
Yeah, I don't have the. I'm not saying Justin Thomas can't win the Masters. No chance.
Yeah. But do you know what? I'm going to veto this one as well. Just because we all know that his tee to green statistics and his tee to green this week is going to be top of the tree. It's going to be as good as it gets. He's going to have a lot of tries. But I think what I see from JT quite a lot when I watch him is he gets frustrated early and around with his putter. There's a lot of head like shaking going on early doors and a lot of kind of snarling. And he keeps it, he keeps a lid in it. He's not Tyrrell, but you almost kind of know in the first 5 holes if JT's on one or not. And if he's not on one, he'll miss 2 10-footers for birdie and you'll get a little bit annoyed. And then he's just and then he's got a tendency to make some silly mistakes with his long game when he's a little bit irritated. So I will veto him.
The simplest way to put it, Donnie, is that if JT was in the form that he was to win a Masters, he would have won the Valspar 2 weeks ago when he was staring down Sam Burns and a couple other people were in contention, but he didn't. He missed putts. He didn't close out, and that's why I just can't swerve him, but can't get behind him.
Yeah. So 2 vetoes and 1 swerve for JT. Next up, Cameron Smith, 14-1. Right, reasons to love. So, Cam Smith, apart from the fact Cam Smith is a legend and just a cool fucker, and I love everything about him. I love the mullet. I love his answers when asked about the FedEx Cup money, and he's like, I'm pretty set. I might get some fishing equipment. I love his nature. I love the fact that even now his profile picture on PGAtour.com looks like he's 12. I love everything about Cam Smith, the whole thing. Reasons to love him golf-wise: twice a winner in 2022 already. That includes the Players' Championship. At Augusta, 3 top 10s in his last 4 around here. He is also, I love this stat, the first and only man to shoot 4 rounds in the 60s at Augusta. Now, granted, it was the November iteration. DJ won by 5, had a couple of really low ones, got to 20 under. But still, Cameron Smith is the only man to shoot 4 rounds in the 60s at Augusta during the Masters. Love that. Recent form, 5 top 10s in his last 8 events. So not just 2 wins. He smacked John Ram down at the Tournament of Champions when it was 35 under was the winning score. They played together for the weekend, and Cam Smith was relentless against the world number 1 that everyone was afraid of at the time. In terms of what his strengths are, third in putting this year. If you watched him win the Players, you just saw the only other putting display that I've seen like that in a long time that was just so clinical and barely believable was Leon Maguire in the Solheim Cup. He drained everything. I don't even need to know that he led the stats and putting that week. He just made birdie after birdie, and when he needed to, and even making great par saves. Yeah. Other parts of his game, like he's all about scoring. He's not the best off the tee. By his own admission, it's the weakest part of his game. But he's 8th on strokes gained approach this year. He's 20th around the greens. There's lots of reasons to love him. Why would you swerve him? A big one. There's only one man in history that's won the Players and the Masters in the same year. Who is?
Tiger.
Mr. Tiger.
Of course. Mr. Tiger Woods.
Just a standard answer if you're in doubt to say Tiger.
It is. Every time it's Mr. Tiger Woods, I assume. Like,
always.
Listen,
always. Yeah.
Donnie,
yeah.
I'll give you some reasons to fade Cameron Smith, right?
Yes, go for it.
Numero uno is the price. Cameron Smith is not a 16-1 shot, in my opinion, to win a Masters. If you're going to give me DJ, Scotty Scheffler, Colin Morikawa, Rory McIlroy, Brooks Koepka, Victor Hovland, Jordan Spieth, Patrick Cantlay, Xander Schauffele, all at bigger prices than Cameron Smith, I would say, do you know what, Cameron, I'll take a week off you, and I'll get on one of the boys at a bigger price. Other thing, Cameron Smith,
can I just caveat that?
No, you can't.
No, right? No, hang on. I entirely agree.
Oh, thanks.
With the pricing, which is why I backed him in October at 28-1 and again in January at 22-1.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah. The other thing is, hasn't won a major. The other thing is he's not a great driver of the golf ball. To win Augusta, the way Augusta is set up, you have to, especially with this new length that Augusta's added on, you have to be a good driver of the golf ball. You need to be a complete player. For me, Cameron Smith, from fairway to green, he's probably one of the best in the world, but when you factor in the big stick, he's just not up there for me. So I'm absolutely swerving Cameron Smith, particularly if you gave me 40-1 on him, I'd put a little each way on him, but 16-1, no thank you.
Yeah, no, to be fair, I have to say I do agree. That's the one I have backed him this week, but the driving thing is the one aspect I'm very scared about. Everyone knows in Augusta, you go even 3 or 4 feet left or right, you could be in serious trouble. So that is one aspect, but I do think he's on form, one of the best players in the world. I do agree he's too short. It's at 16s, but I backed him because I do think he has a serious chance of winning. Just along with, to be honest, half of this 12 that are under 20-1. But I'm backing him, so I'm obviously hoping he's going to be better off the tee, but we shall see.
Swerve for me, Donnie.
For me, it's love. It was love at first sight. It was love 361 days ago. And I said there were 3 names, one of which we'll do a little bit later on. He's a big price. There were 3 names for my Masters 2022. It has not changed. Sorry, that's a lie. It has changed because John Ram was one of them, and I just can't at the price. But Cameron is my guy this week. I love everything about him. I think he is more than capable of putting together 30 good drives and finding fairways. I think the lack of ability in driving, even if he misses fairways, he will scramble those pars. And when he hits the fairway, when he misses the fairways, I don't think he's necessarily going to be dropping shots because his short game is so fantastic. When he hits the fairway, the rest of his game is so elite. He's my Masters champion for this year, as far as I'm concerned. It's Cameron Smith. I agree about the price. Not for me, mate. I agree that, to be honest, if you wanted to back him and you haven't put a bet on yet, value-wise, he's not great value. It's actually pretty shit value. But
Danny, you know what? Sorry to interrupt you. I would say Cameron Smith has as much chance of winning as Louis Oosthuizen does. Louis Oosthuizen is 40-1. Cam Smith is 16.
Lad, that you can't. Jesus
Christ. So listen, just my opinion, bro. Just my opinion. Neither have.
We've got one love and two swerves on Cam.
Yeah. No, two loves and one swerve.
Two loves. Oh yeah. So myself, a real love, and Steve is a big swerve.
Big swerve.
Okay. That's Cam Smith. On to the next man, the hottest player in the world number one. I can't believe I'm saying that. Even though he's been amazing. Scotty Scheffler, 14-1.
Swerve. Okay.
Reason straight out, no messing with
Straight out swerve, yeah.
Yeah. So reasons to love. 3 wins in his last 5 starts. Just all the confidence, self-belief, and everything you could ever imagine a golfer to have. Everything he looks at goes in the hole. He's hitting every fairway. He's hitting loads of greens. He's positive strokes gained putting in 9 of his last 11 events. So the hole is just a bucket. He reminds me so much of Jordan Spieth 2015, but a bigger, stronger version of him. So they're the reasons to love, and there are loads. He would have been 6 weeks ago, you would have got Scotty at probably 33-1, and now he's 14s. Reasons to swerve. So something I didn't mention about Cam Smith is like law of averages play a lot in this game because the differences between these top players are tiny. And if you've had some big days, the law of averages is you're not going to keep having the big days because so many guys put their hands up on Sundays. So law of averages is the big reason to swerve Scotty. Like, could he win 4 events in 6? Like, only Tiger can do that. Like, that would be, if it's 4 events in 6, including a World Golf Championship and Bay Hill, wow.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing is there's some trends that he doesn't fit. A few different trends that we're going to put up on our Twitter, but it's only a second Masters as well. There's another reason to swerve.
Yeah, but that's the big one, Danny. Second, very simply, it's a second Masters. Scotty Scheffler, despite what the world ranking say, he's not the best player in the world, and that's just going to be shown this week. So swerve Scotty Scheffler for me.
Look, I completely disagree, to be honest with you. I think Scotty Scheffler is on form the best player in the world. He's won huge competitions, not a major, granted, but I mean, like you can't just say, oh, it's 16s, he's not worth it, because you have to look at other things than just the like actual odds. Like he's the most on form player in the world.
So are you telling me that of all this field lining up this week, that Scotty Scheffler is the best player?
Yeah.
Currently, he is.
I think the world golf rankings are pretty.
He is
robust.
like currently he is the best golfer in the world. Yeah, and to be perfectly honest with you, like I'd have him over a lot of the players that are like better value that we'll talk about soon. Like I totally get it's his second Masters and stuff, but yeah, like he's on a run like we've never seen bar Tiger for a long time, and I don't see this disrespect where it's coming from.
I wouldn't necessarily say that it's a run that we haven't seen. So I mean, you know, even as recently as 2 months ago, Victor Hovland had won 3 and 5. But the big difference is, number one, Scotty has won totally different types of events. And not even just location and conditions and type of golf course, also format. So he smashed everyone at the match play. He's won Bay Hill. Like he's won, what else did he win? Phoenix Open, wasn't it? Yeah, he won the Phoenix. So he waded through the chaos of all the fucking beer bottles and the madness to win the Phoenix Open. He then goes to one of the most iconic and difficult courses in America and goes and wins that. And then he goes to the match play and dusts everyone, knowing that if he did it, he'd go to world number 1. I'm vetoing Scotty because the reason I'm vetoing Scotty is belief is one hell of a drug, and he's got it all, and his confidence must just be through the roof, no pressure. I don't think he's going to find the world number one any kind of burden, because I still think that he's under the radar. Hilariously,
no,
Scotty is under the radar. Of course, he's under the radar. Compared to Tiger, he's under the radar.
Well, then everyone's under the radar. You know what I mean? Like,
well, yeah, to a certain extent, they are.
Listen,
that's true. They are. Like,
listen,
everyone is under the radar because of Tiger. That's true.
Scotty's a very good golfer, right? He's on an unbelievable run, but he's not the best player. And there's at least, I would say, 10 players in the field who are better.
You know what? Was Patrick Reed the best player in the world when he won the Masters? Was Danny Willett? Was Charles Schwartzel?
Was
DJ probably was, to be fair.
Was Tiger Woods like 2 years ago? No, he wasn't. Like so.
So I'm vetoing Scotty just based on his belief, and he's just been so good and so good to watch, and has been hitting just incredible putt after incredible putt. So it's a veto, a swerve,
big swerve.
Yeah, massive love. He's my second pick.
2 loves, 100%. 2 loves and a swerve for Scotty. Yeah, 2 loves and a swerve. Right, next up, DJ. DJ is 16-1. So reasons to love. 2021 winner, winning it by 5. He was immaculate that week. He really was. And last year he missed the cut. It's very hard for the defending champion to contend because you got to do the champions dinner and all the shit that goes with it. So before that, he had posted a top 10 in each of his last 5 Masters. Recent form, so very recent form, is a tick. Sunday 63 at the Players to get himself into the top 10. Ran to the semi-finals of the match play. Has shown like a lot of very recent good form, like as in the change for DJ has begun, and that's a scary prospect for everyone. Now, he was off the boil. He won the Masters. DJ's having himself a damn good time after winning the Masters. You know, his probably focus not really there, if he even focuses on anything at all. He's very lightly raced, so to speak. Probably a reason to swerve. He's only played 7 events in 2022, and he's actually lost his strokes gained around the greens. He's been losing shots in 5 of those 7, which is a concern because this golf course, you have to have an immaculate short game because you are going to miss some greens and you're going to have to need some inventiveness to get around that. So, DJ, are we loving him? Or are we swerving him?
I love him. I love him.
Veto him anyway.
He was last off the shortlist for me, Donny. I think he's obviously won around here in November. He's one of the better drivers of the golf ball. He's in great form in terms of he showed up well at the match play. He done well over in Saudi Arabia. And where was the other one that he done well in, you were saying?
Semi-finals of the match play. Semi-finals of the match play, and then his Sunday 63.
Yeah, that was it. That was it.
Sunday when he dunked one, his last shot
for Eagle. Yeah.
Dunked one for Eagle for about 90 yards.
Yeah, DJ, classy player. His when he's on form, his putting is unbelievable. His short game is good. I wouldn't worry for a player like DJ. You don't need to worry about strokes gained or any of that stuff. If DJ shows up and brings his A game, he'll be up there. But just last off the shortlist for me.
Yeah, to be fair, I will say about DJ. Sorry, Donny, is I have to say he's the one player for me that when he's on, like I don't know what years he had that run, but fucking hell, he was like unplayable. Like he'd show up and just dominate from start to end, and players didn't get near him. Like, and I think if we can see a DJ, if you said it to me 3 weeks ago, I would have said not a fucking chance. He's the biggest fade for me I've ever seen. But in the last 2 weeks, he's really shown that he can play, and he's getting on good form. And if you can continue this into Augusta, yeah, like if we see even a shadow of the DJ of old, it could be a very interesting weekend.
Yeah, like for me, it's love for DJ. I'm very, very close to backing him, and also the price. We kind of said in the podcast recently that DJ is going to win soon at a silly price. I'm going to say a silly price, like 20-1 or even 18-1 for DJ is a silly price. It would be the most absurd travesty if DJ finished his career with 2 majors, and I don't think he will. I don't think.
No, he won't, Donny. He won't.
But he just has. He's tossed up and let go of so many chances. He's not on my short list, but of these favorites, he is definitely one of my most favorite. So it's love for me, but I'm not backing him.
Yep, love.
I'm just gonna veto because don't know what DJ will show up.
Two loves and a veto.
I just don't want to. Yeah, I just don't want to go there. Yeah.
That's a good score for DJ. Right, next up, we are out to the 20-1 shots. I can't believe he's 20-1.
Well,
Colin
Morikawa. One shot.
sorry.
Just say I'm looking at most of the pricing, and in the last hour to 2 hours, Jordan Spieth seems to be 18-1 on most bookies now. Just wanted to point that out.
Yeah, I had him, so I'm going off best price for odds checker. Best price is 22, so we will get to them. So yeah, next man up is Colin Morikawa at 20-1. Right, reasons to love. 2 majors and 8 starts.
Crazy price.
What the hell?
Crazy
2 more
price.
top 10s in those majors. Nearly snatched the Genesis off Neiman earlier on the year, which is a highly correlated course. And he was leading strokes gained putting at that course as well, which is interesting. He's 21st this year in strokes gained approach, but we know he is so much better than that. It's another reason to love. Morikawa's 20-1. The reason you're getting added value, the reason you're getting the price is because of lack of experience. He's only played Augusta once in April. He's played it in November. He hasn't really posted anything. It's a golf course that needs to be learned. All the trends point towards guys playing it often, and then finally getting a win. But so there are reasons to swerve. But this is Colin Morikawa. This guy is gonna be a phenom. This guy is over under on majors is probably 6 or 7, is it? He's so
possibly
unbelievably good, and he's a killer. We saw it up close and personal in Dubai when he wasn't even featuring on leaderboards for most of the week, and then he just went 4 under for his last 6 holes and just snatched that trophy. Snatched both of them in the end. The DP World Tour Order of Merit, the Race to Dubai Crown, and the actual championship. So, loving or swerving?
I have to veto, Donny. I have to veto. I don't fancy him enough to back him, but I'm absolutely not saying don't back him. So I'm sitting on the fence with Colin.
Yeah, he was the last off my shortlist. It was Jordan and Morikawa were on my list, and then I took them off. So I do have love for him. I just didn't back him.
Yeah, fair. I'm going to swerve him.
Oof, brave man.
Yeah, it is brave. It is brave. He's that good. I'm just swerving him because of the lack of experience. And also, recently, I mean very recently, hasn't been fantastic. Abe Answer smoked him in the match play. Bet him like 7 and 6 or something. Now, to be fair, I think that's because Abe Answer was about 6 under himself. So that's not necessarily Morikawa having trouble. It's just not him finding the bottom of the hole. But yeah, he's a swerve for me. Just.
Yep. That's fair, yeah.
Nice. Right, next one. Geez, the next one's going to throw up some fucking conversation. Rory McIlroy, 20-1.
Right, Donny, do you know what?
You do the reasons to love.
What I'm going to do, right, is I'm going to spit off some facts here about Rory McIlroy, and I'd appreciate if he didn't interrupt during my flow, all right? More pointed at you, Donny, all right? So first thing to say is that Rory McIlroy is a winner. He's a born winner. He's won 34 times across the European Tour and the PGA Tour. So he's if this is a correct term, he's the winning most player in the field, with the exception of one Tiger Woods, who isn't 100% confirmed yet. So first point, Rory McIlroy is a winner. Second point, Rory McIlroy is a major championship winner. So Rory McIlroy won the US Open and the PGA Championship by 8 strokes on each occasion. So Rory McIlroy can grab a tournament by the scruff of the neck, run away with it, and absolutely dominate, which he was on the path to do in Augusta, going back, whatever it was, 10 years ago, and let the chance go away. But more mature player now. In my opinion, Rory McIlroy is the best player in the world. His Augusta record is, since 2014, this is Rory's record at Augusta: 8th, 4th, 10th, 7th, 5th, 21st, 5th, and miscut last year. People are starting to throw out that Rory, he's out of form, he's not playing well. Rory McIlroy's 6 events on the PGA Tour that he's played this year, or this season, we'll say: 1st, 18th, 10th, 13th, 33rd, and a miscut last week at the Valero Texas Open, which I wouldn't care about at all, to be honest. He's a 2-time FedEx Cup champion. In the last 6 years at Augusta, total strokes gained, he's second. He is as mature and has the mindset now as good as he's ever had it. you're getting 20-1 about Rory McIlroy to bring everything together and win.
I don't agree with the mindset.
How would you not agree with the mindset?
I think he's near worst in terms of mindset, but that's fair.
No, I don't think it's worse either. I think he was far more driven when he was a younger golfer.
No, mindset is in. It's not about drive. It's about being in a winning position and closing that out. It's not about.
Yeah, he's done that once in the last. No,
year. Look, Rory's obviously a contentious one. And for the in the interest of transparency, I love pretty much everything about Rory McIlroy. The only thing I don't is that he hasn't won as many majors as I thought he would. Love him, adore him, unbelievable golfer, the best driver of a golf ball I've ever seen, either on TV, in real life, or in like a fucking some alternative reality. You're not going to have a guy who can drive a ball better than Rory can. So I understand why you're really sweet on him. The one thing I would point out about his record at Augusta is I don't have it in front of me, but I would love to know. So what his second, his seventh, his sixth, his eighth, his 10th, blah, blah. I'd love to know what position he was after 54 holes, because I would imagine it would read something like 27th, 21st, 24th, 18th, 13th, 22nd. What he keeps doing is everyone who loves Rory and follows Rory knows this. He keeps putting himself in a jam on Thursday, Friday, and then chasing. And a trend that I wanted to pull out earlier on, which just really scares me off Rory, is since 2010, the lowest champion at the Masters after 36 holes, the lowest placed guy was Charles Schwartzel, right? So after 36 holes, Charles Schwartzel was 12th. Every other champion since 2010 has been better than 12th at the halfway point. You cannot chase around Augusta. Those pins will get you and fuck you up. You have to start well, and that's the thing that just is a perennial concern with Rory in majors. He keeps on getting in his head on Thursday, being 2 over after 7, wobbling.
I know, see, Donny, you need to have the evidence for it. You can't just throw that out there without saying this, like you're just speculating here.
Well, his last 2 rounds, last year he started off with a 75.
Yeah, he missed the cut last year.
2019, he started off with a 73.
Yeah, 73 around Augusta.
Steve, by the way,
it's not bad.
By the way, Steve, this is not a personal slight on you or your love for Rory McIlroy. I'm just saying it's a very it's such an emphatic a point about Rory. And by all means, for our listeners, please do let me know what you think about this. I'd love to hear it. But it's such an emphatic point about Rory playing himself out of major championship contention on Thursday that I don't even need the data. It is such a well-worn path. And I'm not even talking necessarily just about the Masters here.
Well, I'd like to see the evidence for that, Donny. I'd like to see the evidence.
He hasn't won a major since 2014.
Steve,
there's your evidence.
As Colin O'Toole says, there is no need to be upset.
Yeah,
it's not an upset thing. I'm just saying, Donny, you can't be throwing out comments like that without evidence. You know what I mean?
But he hasn't won a major since 2014.
Yeah, but he's won 4. But he's won 4 majors.
Nearly 10 years ago, though.
And he's
what do you mean?
Right.
I'm sorry, but you can't
live Googling the nationalclubgolfer.com. If you're wondering why Rory McIlroy isn't getting done in the majors, this is it. The ridiculous stat at Rory's majorless 6 years. Let me find the stat. There's loads of shite in here. Bear with me.
This is great for a live broadcast on.
No, I'm actually enjoying it though. To be fair, I look while Donny's looking at that, I think Rory actually has a pretty decent record around Augusta.
It's an exceptional record around it. The only player better than him in the last 6 years is Dustin Johnson.
I've got it. Okay, Justin Ray Golf. Shout out to Justin Ray Golf, one of the best follows on Twitter for golf stats. Brilliant guy. He is on the pulse. This was November 2020. This was posted. Rory McIlroy in majors since 2015. First round, 28 over par. Rounds 2 to 4, 56 under par.
So what you're saying is his average score under par is what?
His aggregate score
is
in the first round of major since 2015 was 28 over. So if you took all of his first rounds in all the majors since 2015, from 2015 to 2020, put them all together, added them up, he's 28 over. If you do the same thing for his rounds 2 to 4 for the same majors, he's 56 under.
Okay, so you're saying he's net significantly under par per tournament. Is what the outcome of that is like. Do you know what I mean?
Right, we're moving on.
Well, listen.
Look, can I say one thing though? And look, I'm not trying to injure you. I'm genuinely not. But also, this has to be said when it comes to a McIlroy. I know you're going to be giving out to me, but it has to be said. I personally think Rory, and I will, if I'm hold my hand up, and I hope I'm wrong with this. I really do, because I am a Rory fan. I just do think that he's not nowhere near the player he used to be. He's still a very good winner. I don't think he's as good as the rest of the big golfers anymore, and especially when it comes to the majors. But one thing I will say is that calamity collapse that he had at Augusta, I personally don't think you're ever going to get over that. And I don't think Rory will ever win a green jacket. I hope I'm wrong. I don't think he will.
I really massively disagree.
I don't think that's an unreasonable thing to say. But I would love, like you, Brew, to
yeah, I hope
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying he will or he won't. I would love you to be wrong for the purposes of Rory finishing off the Grand Slam. Right, listen, I think we've touched the nerve and poor Steve. He's looking very pensive.
No, I haven't. You haven't touched the nerve at all. It's just like he's going to win the Masters, and that's as simple as it is.
Do you know what? If Rory can shoot a 68 on Thursday, we are in business.
Or if he shoots a 72, because you know he's going to shoot 54 under par for the last.
That's true.
Statistically speaking.
Yeah. So anyway, a nice 74 for Rory to start on Thursday. Right, moving on. Brooks Koepka is our next guy. We've got 4 left. Brooks Koepka 20-1. Right, reasons to love. Major record. It's fucking totally.
It's actually done. It's actually done.
14 top 10s and 4 wins in majors since 2015, and that's including most recent performances where Brooks hasn't been that good. So at Augusta, hilariously, it's actually the weakest of his 4 majors, and even still, so before he missed the cut last year, but before that he was T7, T2, and tied 11th. Another reason to love his recent upturn in form, a little bit similar to DJ, is kind of has people going, oh, Brooks Koepka is still an unbelievable golfer. So he reached the quarterfinal of the match play. He was tied 12th to Valspar. His putting has come on a lot. He used to be just a sensational putter. He actually used to remind me of Tiger for the putts that he'd hole in Sunday major contention. So he's 20-1. Like that would have been 33-1 if it wasn't for the recent upturn. Maybe there's a lot of liking for him. Reasons to swerve, 2 reasons, but it's really 1 reason. So statistically he's regressed in every area since 2019. Every area of his game is not as good as it was. The reason you can point to that, I think, is fair, that he has said himself, I'm like glass. He's had lots of injuries. He's had trouble with his knees, had trouble with his wrist. It looks like he's healthy again, which we like to see, because, you know, Brooks is a phenomenal golfer.
Phenomenal. Yeah.
What are we saying on Brooks? Are we loving him? Or are we swerving him?
Swerve, because Rory's going to win.
He's my 3rd pick. Personally, I think I mean, when he played against Tiger, when Tiger won it, Brooks probably should have won it that year. He hit into the water at whatever 16, and he's never recovered after that. So,
well, he shouldn't hit into the water then, should he?
He shouldn't have. That's fair. But I mean, look, I think
Alexander.
I think Brooks is a very good price as well. Someone that does so well around majors. I think 20-1 is a great value, and I think I'm all over Brooks this week.
Yeah, I think Brooks actually is gonna hang around, but I'm gonna swerve him. He hasn't been there. He hasn't been in the mix for a while. For him for a while, might be some nagging doubts. Well, actually, I don't think there's nagging doubts. He's
very self-confident.
Yeah. But I'll swerve him. Similar to Morikawa, I'll swerve him. But obviously, does Brooks have a chance of winning at Augusta? Yeah. But is this the year? Nah.
Fair.
Not for me. Right, next one. I'm conscious that we're going through this like a fucking snail. Next one. I think this might be a quick swerve by everyone, and not because he's a bad player, but just the setup. Viktor Hovland 20-1. He was the hottest player in the world before Scheffler. He had 3 wins and 4 more top 10s in his last 11 events. Last 2 weeks haven't been great. Low amateur here in 2019, but that was tied 32nd. So he's played it once since, tied 21st last year. Reasons to swerve. not very experienced around Augusta, and he is literally last on the PGA Tour for strokes gained around the green. That is 209th of the 209 golfers that are included in that metric. Viktor Hovland, love or swerve?
Swerve. And you know what? I find it hypocritical for anyone saying they love Scheffler but hate Hovland. Personally.
I don't really understand that because Scotty Scheffler's got one of the best short games in the world. So I'm not sure where you're going with that one.
If we're talking Scotty's going to win because he's won 3 of his last 5.
I think it's fair to say that Viktor Hovland's game currently, maybe his prodigious talent off the tee is kind of not as much of an advantage as on some tracks. So I think for a US Open, it's a much bigger advantage. I think, could Viktor Hovland win a green jacket in his career? Yeah, totally. He needs to sort of short game out. I think he's got the ability to lose 4 or 5 shots in the tournament just from little mistakes that little things weren't sharp enough. So he's an easy swerve for me. He's an easy swerve for me. He will absolutely get back to bits by me for the US Open, but not for Augusta, not right now.
Next up,
Brew.
Yeah, no, same. Swerve for me.
Right, exactly. 2 more. 3 more. Jesus. Right, quickly. Xander, 22-1. Reasons to love. He's 9 top 10s and 18 majors. That's great. That's really
enough, Donny. That's all I need to say.
Tied second, tied third in his last 3 major appearances. Obviously, had the experience of a Sunday afternoon in the heat of battle at Augusta. It didn't go his way, but having that experience and being in that position before, surely that can only be positive. Can it? Don't know. Because the other side of it is what happened that day. Plopped it on 16. He contends that the wind changed. Yeah. The other reason to swerve, I think, with Xander is he's not particularly in good form. He hasn't really posted anything of note in the last while. He's a great player, which means he's not going to be a guy who's going to miss consecutive cuts or things like that. But the other question is the mentality there. Does he have it in him to win a major? The Olympics is a very different thing. I don't care what anyone says. So 22-1. It's an easy swerve for me.
Love it. Great mentality. Great ball striker, and does well at major. So definitely.
You know what? It's not an easy swerve for me because I do think he will be top 10, top 15. I think
you just said he's an easy swerve. Well,
yeah, if we're looking for the winner, he's an easy swerve. But I think he'll play well. I think he'll knock around. I think
so. Love.
No. So it's a swerve for me. But I think at 22-1, your chances of getting each way money is pretty high.
He's love for me.
Attaboy, bro.
I mean, yeah. Just keep it nice and short, really.
Nice. Jordan Spieth is the second last of the favorite guys. So he's best price 22. In a lot of places he's shorter than that. Reasons to love. Don't really need to do this with Spieth and Augusta. Former winner, nearly defended it, which is unbelievably hard. Should have defended. The other thing I want to point out with Spieth, statistically last week at the Valero was really, really interesting. So his tee to green data was unbelievable. He was second on approach, first tee to green, 13th off the tee, last in putting. Of all the guys who made the cut, he was ranked 71 of 71 golfers in putting who played 4 rounds, which
must be a first. Must be a
Jordan
first
Spieth we're talking about.
That's
Jordan
crazy.
Spieth. So if Jordan Spieth in the meantime, in those couple of days, can find something and the memory of the Augusta greens and the bent grass greens come back to him, then obviously massive threat because tee to green is playing very well. But yeah, like the putter won him his green jacket. It leaves a lot of attention. Vito, because putting is so unpredictable. Vito, could he win? Yeah. I'll be back on him. No, I'm totally on the fence with Jordan.
I have massive love for Jordan. He one other fun fact from last weekend, Donny, is he gained 7.05 strokes on the field, tee to green in the final round, and that's the highest. And that's the highest since any golfer in any competition since I think it was 2014. So that's insane. But I have to say, he was on my shortlist, and he was literally the last person, and I couldn't get him off it, but his putting just hasn't been good. And as you said, I know a putter can blow hot and cold, but around Augusta, man, it has to be on. Like, do you know what I mean? So he just missed out for me. I big love, but I'm not gonna back him this week.
He's actually one for me, Donny. The only player in the field that I can neither pro, sit on the fence, or go against. I just don't know what to expect with him. I just can't even.
I'm the same.
I'm just going to ignore him completely.
Yeah, I'm the same. It's a total veto on Speed for me. Total veto. I don't know. Don't ask me.
You'll have some fun. He'll make some eagles and make some birdies. He'll also make some double bogey. You'll have some fun back in George. But I don't even know what to say about him. Love the guy. I wouldn't be too disappointed if he wins on Sunday, to be honest. But I won't be involved.
No, nor would I. Nor would I. Speed's a legend. It's for some reason he's unliked in certain circles.
Yeah.
I don't really.
Yeah, I really like him, to be honest. Yeah, I don't know why, but.
Bit of a whiny fella, though, isn't he?
I didn't like him for ages because he ruined the Masters one year because he was too good for everyone and he just fucked it. And from like Friday midday, you knew that Speed was winning the Masters, and it made one of my favorite sporting events of the year. It made it nothing.
To be honest,
so that's why I didn't like him.
I actually had a bet with my boss in a company I had just joined, and he was like, "Oh, you're Jimmy Bruin's grandson. Who's going to win the Masters? Rory, is it?" And I was like, "No, I don't think Rory's going to win. I think he's like a new, like, up and coming player, like Ricky Fowler or like Jordan Spieth, I think." And he goes, "Jordan Spieth." He's like, "I'll give you 50 to 1 right now." And I was like, "Grand, I'll give you a 10 or so on that." And he came in on Monday, and he was like,
he lapped everyone.
He goes, he literally handed me €500 cash and goes, "I just want to tell you, the Masters."
You're fired.
He's like, the Masters is my favorite competition. I love it. I watch every second of it. And I despised every second because he was at the top of the leaderboard. And he's one of my favorite players of all time because of
plot twist for everyone listening. I actually used to be Bruce's boss.
Yeah, I was gonna say Donnacha's was my boss. Yeah. So yeah.
I can understand the love for Spieth. I just haven't a clue. So ask me a less complicated question. The last guy at the top, and I realize you spent a lot of time on the top guys, but we like to think we've given you a really decent overview now of who's in, who's out. Make up your own minds. Patrick Cantlay, 22 to 1. Reasons to love, top 10 in 2020. 2019 was that 2019? He had 6 top 10s in a row and 2 wins, like at the turn of the year. So winning the BMW, winning the FedEx, he looked unbeatable, like totally and utterly unbeatable. What do you do with this guy? He's a massive problem. But then since then he's been a little off. He missed the cut of the Players. I actually got this from Mark Fox. Go follow Plug Lie on Twitter. Really, really good dude. He was 24th strokes gained on approach going into Masters last year, and now he's 146th. So he's clearly struggling a lot with his irons. Patrick Cantlay, 22 to 1, has never done anything of note at a major. Not really, not compared to a lot of these guys. So hard swerve for me.
I'm going to veto. Cantlay is he has the perfect game for Augusta. He's patient, he's accurate, he putts really well, thinks his way around the golf course. Again, we had Jason on the podcast earlier on in the week or last week, giving him his, out of form, but can easily show up and put a performance together. So I'm not going to say he's not going to win, but I'm just not going to get behind him again. A lot of fence sitting here for the most part. But Cantlay could win, could not win, but I'm not getting involved either way.
I literally could. I am taking every word Steve just said. I totally agree with all of that. I the exact same.
Oh, thanks, bro.
I feel confident enough.
He's just that one person I feel is dangerous, and he could easily show up, but he could also miss the cut.
I'd hate if he won it. To be fair, I'd be miserable on Sunday if Patrick Cantlay is one.
I'd also be miserable. I'd match his demeanor on a golf course, which actually it's not his fault. We all know someone who just looks like they're chewing a wasp when they're being neutral. He just looks so fucking like disinterested and grumpy when he's on a golf course, and it really sucks the joy out of it when he's no fist bumps, no enthusiasm, no nothing. So yeah, hard to
Johnny tight lips.
Johnny tight lips. Tell him to go suck a lemon. Right, so that's in fucking in depth on the 12 top guys in the market. Right, and we can round this off. The guy I'm taking Cam Smith all day long, and I think I'm probably going to take DJ. They'd be my 2.
Just Rory for me.
And I am taking Scotty, Cam, and Brooks. I think it's going to be one of those 3.
Nice. Right. midfield picks. What we love about midfield picks is 5 of the last 6 winners come in the midfield. There's value in here. These are guys capable of absolutely winning the Masters, and you'll get a lovely big chunk of money if they do. So rather than going through this whole rigmarole,
no, let's not. We'll have an 8-hour podcast.
Fuck that. Oh, right, really quickly, guys who are 25 and plus, Will Zalatoris, Daniel Berger, Sam Burns, Hideki defending, Lou Oosthuizen, Bryson at 40-1, get up the road. Corey Connors 50s, Adam Scott, Wacken Neeming, Manny Fitzpatrick, Shane Lowry, and Tyrrell Hatton. I'm going to cut it off at that.
Beautiful.
Well, I can't because Tiger's in the bracket of 50s.
I know.
Tony Finau, Russell Henley, fucking loads of them. Paul Casey, Sunjay, right?
Donny, I've 2 picks in that category, right? So first pick is Shane Lowry, Sugar Shane. So really quickly, why I like Shane Lowry, he's 9th strokes gained total on the PGA Tour this year. We all know Shane Lowry, he's a happy-go-lucky type of fella, usually very humble, but he's been raving recently in any interviews that he can about how good his game is. He's a major champion, he's a Ryder Cupper, he's won the Bridgestone Invitational in the past, which is a big event. Massively creative around the green. He can hit the ball high, he can hit the ball low, whatever you want, Shane Lowry can do it for you. And an absolute wizard with the wedge in his hand. Again, putter, will it heat up? That's the question. I think it may do. He's played Augusta the last 2 years. He's been 25th and 21st. So he knows the course. He's getting to know the course a bit better. He's a scrapper of a golfer, which you need around here. And his last 3 results on the PGA Tour, 2nd, 13th, and 12th. So I think Shane Lowry has all the assets that you need to. This obviously Rory's going to win, so maybe to come second round here. The other pick, the second pick, which might surprise you a little bit, is I'm going to take Matt Fitzpatrick. I think.
Whoa! What? Yeah. Oh my God!
I'm all aboard Matty Fit. I know. Yeah, I'm losing myself, I think. So one thing that shocked me when I was doing a bit of research today, Matt Fitzpatrick leads the PGA Tour on strokes gained total for this season. So everyone raving about Scheffler, everyone raving about anyone you like. Matt Fitz number 1 strokes gained total. Matt Fitz is a monster on tough golf courses. So Arnold Palmer Invitational 9th, Pebble Beach 6th, Genesis Invitational last season he came 5th. He's a 7-time winner on the European Tour. He won in October, and the course he won at was Valderrama, which is arguably one of the toughest courses in the whole world of golf. Matt Fitz went out and shot 6 under, won the event. Hits fairways, hit greens. Like the guy leaves the flag in, which I don't get. Just take the flag out, Matt. You know what I mean? But anyway, he's played the Masters 7 times. He's made all of 7 cuts. He was tied 7th in 2016. So he's up to that, 8-9 time of playing. He's seen the course enough, and I think Matt Fitz is ready to put a big performance. He made the cut at all 4 majors last year, as well. So he's just trended in the right direction, and
it's wild that Matty Fitz has been around that long.
I know, yeah.
Because his little bro is coming on tour next year, Alex, who's one of the best amateurs in the world.
We're all getting old, Donny.
One thing, I'm a fan of Matty Fitz. I've backed him plenty of times, and he's done well for me every time I've backed him this season. I like him a lot. One thing about Augusta, though, just a general point. Would you agree that at this level, caveat, Augusta is a golf course that has difficult holes, but it's not necessarily a difficult golf course? What I mean by that is you should be birdieing the 2nd. You should be taking the piss out of 13 and 15. 16 can be very gettable. The 8 is obviously very gettable. There are other chances. 11's tough. 12, you need to have balls of steel to hit that shot. It's got really difficult holes. But if you look at the scoring, like most of the time, it's 12, 13, 14 wins it. Sometimes 20. That was a bit.
If you're playing well, Donny, it's an easy-ish course. But if you're not 100% on your game, you're gonna make big scores. You're gonna be all over the place.
Just a general point. Is just those 2 for you, Steve, in the midfield?
I have one at 90, so I won't count him at midfield.
We'll count him on the long shots.
Yeah.
Brew, do you want to do your midfield picks if you have any?
Yeah, I have 2. I guess I'll do the higher odds first. I have Russell Henley at 50-1. I think he's been playing very well this year. His iron shots, his approach to the green this year, he's actually ranked number 1, just ahead of Willie Z. So I think he's a very good value bet at 50-1. I won't drone on too much. In comparison to other people around that 50 mark, I think he's a very, very good shout of getting a top 10.
Yeah, Russell Henley scares me to death because he's just capable of melting down, and he does it.
That's very true. Yeah,
he does it on a PGA Tour event that no one in the annals of golf history gives a bollocks about. So I don't think I'll ever back him.
Yeah,
I would rather just a miscut like I don't in my life than the false hope of Russell Henley. But there you go. Listen, Teeth Green, excellent, really good putter. Why not? I mean, fair price for his ability, not fair price for what's between the ears for me.
Fair.
I've got.
I actually have one more. Actually, sorry.
Sorry, yeah, of course.
And I wanted to put him last, even though he's shorter odds, because I think he's outrageously priced. I think he's probably the best price golfer in the entire market for me, and that's Sam Burns at 40-1. I mean, apart from Scotty Scheffler, he's probably one of the most informed golfers in the world. I understand that he's a debutant. I totally get that here, and that usually works against you 99% of the time. But at 40-1 with his current, form, I think he's well worth a punt personally.
Yeah, I think for golfing ability alone, how good a golfer he is, 40-1's a really big price, because I think he's as talented as the guys that we've just spent the guts of an hour talking about. I think he's right up there. It's the learning curve of Augusta, which I think is probably why he's 40-1.
That's fair. Yeah.
I play him top 20, top 10 maybe.
One debutant, apart from the first time it was ever played, one debutant to win the Masters.
Fuzzy Zeller.
Yes, 1979. Fuzzy Zeller is the only man to do it. There was a lot of that trotted out last year when Will Zalatoris was looking good.
Yeah.
But listen, hey, Sam Burns could do it. He's good enough. He puts well enough. He knows how to win.
Donny, shoot your two midfielders.
Oh, I've 1.5. I'm going to take both. Like it's either one of these guys or DJ. So I'm gonna stay away from DJ against my better judgment. I'm going to take Willie Z. It's a shit price, 25-1. He is the leader on tour strokes gained Teeth Green this season. Unbelievable Teeth Green. We know all about his putting stroke. Let's not even go there. Just how comfortable he was in the mix, chasing down Hideki. I know Hideki won by 4 in the end, but at no point in time was I worried that Zalatoris, who I backed at 100-1 last year, at no point did he look like he was leaving the podium, which I just really liked. Needs to get his putter going, obviously. 25-1, not a good price. I wouldn't even, it's out of love and loyalty.
Donny, he's 25-1n.
Yeah, it's stupid.
Come on.
I know, it's fucked.
Do me a favour, Donny. Do me a favour.
I think if it's him at 25 or DJ at 16, lad, I think you're making the wrong decision there.
Yeah, I'm a fucking idiot, actually. All right, listen, it's to be confirmed. I will not be put under pressure by these goons. I will either take DJ to win only, or I'll do Zalatoris. And yeah, the price is terrible. The other midfield pick that I have, I'm going to take Joaquin Niemann. Who I know is one of Brew's favorite golfers. Steamroller the field at Genesis. He was way too good. He was fucking awesome that week. He's 6th strokes gained around the green, 2022. So and also actually 6th tee to green. So very good all around game. 26th on approach. I like that as well. I like the fact he's won this season. There's a lot. I like the fact that even though he's young, he's kind of been shown the ropes now. He doesn't have form around here. He's got a tied 33 and a missed cut. So 40-1. There's better guys. There's guys at 40-1 who have won this. There's guys at 80-1 who won this. There's guys at 5,000-1 who've won this. Or how you know he was.
Donny, my issue with him is that he went out and got battered 8-7 by Maverick McNeely at the match play. Like that would scare me for at least 6 months.
Yeah. Do you know why he got back beaten 8-7? I'll tell you exactly why. Because Maverick McNeely was 7 under for 10 holes.
But still.
Still me bollocks.
Joaquin, show a bit of character. Well, listen, give me a go head to head with Maverick McNeely, and I'd probably lose 8-7 as well.
McNeely, he was actually 8 under. I think he was 8 under for 11. I think Maverick McNeely was 8 under for 11, which is just what? Right, long shots, and we're not going to spend too much time here, so we're just going to do our picks. But listen, historically, no one outside the world's top 30 has won this. in a long, long time. And if you're looking for a Hail Mary 200-1 kind of winner, like the last big match, like Danny Willett was even ranked 29th when he won at 66-1. Cabrera was probably ranked top 50 when he won it. So you're looking at place money here. Like, don't expect any of these guys to win. Like, come on. The world is not fair.
I'll give you one that can win at these prices, right? Very quickly. 90-1 shot, Gary Woodland. Right, Gary Woodland is a major champion. He went toe to toe with Brooks Koepka in 2019, won the US Open. He can scrap. He's there's the word scrap I've used a lot. I just like a scrappy golfer. A Shane Lowry, a Matt Fitz, scrappy. Gary Woodland is back.
You like scrapping at me for Rory McIlroy statistics as well.
I do, yeah.
Fucking statistics.
Gary Woodland, right? He's back to his best. 5th at the Honda Classic, 5th at the Arnold Palmer Invitational. Miscut of the Players, which doesn't count just because that was an absolute joke of a tournament.
It doesn't fit the narrative, so get out of here.
Doesn't count. 8th last week in Texas. He's 14th in driving distance. He's played Augusta 9 times. He hasn't played Augusta very well, I'm going to be honest about that, but he's going back to his best form when he won the US Open. He's putting the lights out at the moment. It mightn't show in the stats, but I've been tracking Gary Woodland in terms of how he's been putting, because I've mainly backed him the last 3 weeks and he's got me place money every single time. Gary Woodland is confident. Sorry, Donnelly, I'm just going to finish this sentence, right? He's confident. He's got the swagger and he's 90-1 and I'm getting on Gary Woodland each way, 8 places.
I think he's a great price, actually. I think he's way too big. I don't know why Gary Woodland. Gary Woodland needs to be 50s or 66s. So great value.
Thanks.
The problem is, like, how does Gary Woodland place if your other 5 golfers are already there? There's not much room left.
Sorry, pal. I have 3 picks plus Woodland.
All right, okay.
I think
he's got a bit. Oh, okay,
if you're going to throw shade, you might as well throw shade at Brew. You know what I mean? What's he have? 7, 8, 9.
I've had 5 picks so far with 1 to go. I think 6 picks is more than fair.
Who's your long shot? I've just said that the long shots don't win. I'm still taking 3.
Well, you know what? I've gone for another. I've gone for another debutant. And I honestly think his price is actually pretty good, even though he's a debutant. He's never played here. But I think he's been playing absolutely phenomenal this year. Absolute Irish legend that is Seamus Power.
Nice. Yes.
Up the Deja.
Love for Seamus Power. It's so good to see him at Augusta.
85-1. I think he's gone down to 80-1 now, but I think he was 100-1 last week, I think. And he's gone down to 80 now.
Good Waterford man, bro.
Waterford man. You wouldn't think it from his golf, but you know, he's an absolute great player. And just I think he's like T Green, iron shots. I think he can definitely do it. You know, maybe not exactly win, but I wouldn't be surprised if he's up there this week and at 85-1. I think he's.
There's usually one debutant. There's usually one debutant that seems to figure Augusta out.
Yeah,
quicker than everyone else. So last year, like Will Zalatoris and one of the guys who I'm just about to drop as well, figured it out early. And Seamus Power, why not? He deserves to be here. Totally on merit. The hardest way to qualify for the Masters is to do it with world ranking points, and he's done that.
He did that exactly.
And he'll have no pressure. There's no pressure to be put on him. He's not pressurized by Ryder Cup qualification or any shit like that. Go out there. It's your first ever major. You're qualified for all of them this year, as far as I know. Go out there, have fun, make some putts, see what happens.
You've literally nothing to lose.
Just to back that up even more, bro, Waterford went out and won the National League this weekend as well. So the Deja are rolling. Seamus Power is rolling.
He might be a bit hungover. Oh, geez, I'll change the bet. So
off the Deja. Now we'll hand over to Donny, who's going to give you 3 picks that he actually doesn't believe are going to win, but he's going to throw out there. So Donny, over to you.
Well, no, So we're going after place money. Every year I put a pin like those like Cheltenham anti-post legends who put a pin in a horse 8 months before Cheltenham and get him a 40-1 and he goes off at a 5-4 favorite. I do this with the Masters. The 3 pins I had, like one of them was John Ram. Yeah, great, very well done.
Man, yeah. Nice.
Yeah. Clap on the back for that one. The other one was Cameron Smith. The third one was Rob McIntyre. Bobby Mack was tied 12th last year. That's how he got in. There was no other reason. He didn't qualify with world ranking points, didn't qualify with wins. He got in because he performed really well. I vividly remember his interview on the Sunday after he posted top 12, I think it's 14 and ties get in the following year, and he was disappointed because he said he had the game here to contend and he can't wait for next year. He said multiple times it's his favorite place in the world. He's a lefty. The man's a lefty. The lefty advantage is not bullshit around Augusta. You're hitting cuts off tee boxes. It's easier to control than draws. It's only one element of the golf course. Totally appreciate that. What I like in terms of how he's trending, he's posting top 25, top 35 his last two. His putting, positive strokes gained putting in his last 5, positive strokes gained around the green in 4 of those. 100 to 1. He's disappointed me in the last year because I think he's a quality golfer, and I'd love him as a lad as well. And I do think eventually he'll crack the world's top 50. He'll feature more. I think he's a Ryder Cup player in waiting. All those good things. He's 100 to 1. Any thoughts on Bobby Mack?
I like him. I think he's a great guy, but not for me this week. If I was going to do a top lefty, I'd take Brian Harman above him.
Yeah, I like that too.
I think.
Speaking of lefties, by the way, Garrett Kigo, you can get at 300 to 1, which is interesting.
Yeah, not for me. Yeah. You can get me. You can
not for me either.
You can get Steve Kennedy about 500 to 1 to win the Masters. That's not going to happen either.
1,000 to 1. Come on, Steve. But yeah, look, I think the lefties, like it's a bit of a myth though. Like, do you know, like,
I don't think it's a myth.
Oh, it's not for no, it's not at all.
Well, I mean, Bubba's the last person to win in 2012.
But it's not just winners. It's like Brian Harman has finished T4 around here. Like lefties, there are fuck all of them. And,
yeah, actually, that's true. That's fair.
Mike Weir.
Give Hank Lebioda a go around here. He'll win it.
Did Mike Weir win the Masters?
He did, yeah.
Yeah, 2003.
And Phil, I guess, in 2004, 2005, yeah.
Phil, but like if you look at the last 20 years, I'd say it's the highest percentage of lefty winners than any other event.
Any tournament.
Yeah, that's fair.
I have nothing to back that up.
No, I know it's only.
That's fair. That's
3. Fair. It's 3 guys, and I know we've got multiple winners. I'm telling you, it exists.
Yeah, it does.
The other 2 I have, one guy. Oh God, go on, you boy. Luke List is 150 to 1.
Oh Jesus!
Unbelievable tee to green this season. Has led that stat. Strokes gained tee to green. He was top. Will Zalatoris jumped ahead of him. The differences in that are absolutely tiny. He is playing just immaculate golf tee to green. His putting is terrible. He has had negative strokes gained putting every week on the tour this year. Every week, apart from 1 week when he won the Farmers. So if he gets his putter sorted, he wins. I like it. He's like a little Rory.
This is Augusta, Donny. This is Augusta.
Like the old, that old trope. Rory, if he puts, he wins. If he puts, he wins. It's actually Luke List. 150 to 1. He'll hit the ball great. He'll give himself a lot of chances. If he can somehow just hole a few, get a bit of confidence going with his putter, then we'll see what happens. Again, 150 to 1. Is he going to win the Masters? No. But could he be top 10? I think potentially. And I just like having big prices.
Wow, so real confidence here, Donny.
There you go. No,
could he win?
It's realistic for the price.
No. Could he place? Maybe.
Yeah. 150 to 1. Are you going to argue about a 30
there you go,
to 1
listeners.
Winner? You're not going to argue about a 30 to 1 winner, lads. It'll cover your week. The other one, I have to do it. I can't not. I love him. My favourite golfer of all time and always will be. Padraig Harrington. Yeah. He's back in. His 4th at the PGA. Sorry, how dare you do that to Irish greatest sports person? How dare you? How dare
Ireland's
you?
Greatest sports person.
How dare you? You heard what I said, right?
Robbie Keane.
I said I put some like predictions up at the start of the year of just shit that will happen. One of them was Tiger will win an event again. The other one was I think Harrington has a big day left on him. Is it going to be at Augusta? Well, I mean, who knows? But he's played well here before. He's posted 2 top 10s before. Last week he led the field Champions Tour. Caveat grand. Don't come at me.
Yeah, do me a
favor. He led a lot of statistics last week. He finished
tied second. Keep digging your hole.
250 to 1. And I also like that he's not preoccupied with the Ryder Cup anymore. He's free of that. Like Padraig Harrington still thinks he can win another major. And if he's seen what Phil has done, why Harrington hits it further than he did when he won all of his majors. So like, why not? At 250 to 1, it's so just heart over. It's not even heart over head, actually. I think head, there are worse value at 250 to 1 than Harrington.
I do a make cut bet on him, Donny. I do a make cut, but like his day in the sun was when he came 4th at the PGA last year that Phil won. That was his big performance.
I'm just going to give you some guys who are in with him in terms of price, right?
Yeah.
So, Min-Woo Lee.
Yeah, I fancy Min-Woo Lee to beat him.
Playing terrible. Takumi Kanaya, Garrett Higo, Lucas Glover, Zach Johnson, KH Lee.
Glover could be one. Zach Johnson. I'd fancy all of them.
Just one at 200 to 1 who stood out for me. Mackenzie Hughes. That's not a bad bet. I think.
You know what?
200 to 1.
He totally stood out. He jumped off the page for me as well, bro. He absolutely jumped off the page. He was actually 250 to 1. You can still get him at 250s on Paddy Power, Bet365, Betfair, BetVictor. So there's a bunch of chat. There's a bunch of previews. I'm fucking exhausted, but that was fun. I want to remind everyone that we're running an awesome competition. If you didn't hear at the top of the show, we spent time about it. We are giving away a Scotty Cameron Newport putter, the same putter the Tiger won a lot of his majors with. I think it was maybe 12 of his 14. It's top of the range. It's worth about $500. All you have to do is go onto our socials. So our socials are Finders Fairway on Twitter and Fairway Finders Pod on Instagram. Go on there, give us a follow, give us a rating if you want. That won't. We just love you for that if you did that. And all you want to do is 5 stars,
Donny.
Yeah, exactly. Wow. Be honest. Tell us how we can improve. We're always trying to get better at this stuff. And all you have to do is tell us who's going to win the Masters. And on Sunday evening, we're going to collate all the Cam Smith entrants, and whoever
wipe them off the board.
Someone's going to be drawn out of a hat. Someone's going to get themselves a brand new Scotty Cameron Newport putter worth $500. It's the biggest giveaway we've ever done. So yeah, please get involved. And you know what? You have a seriously decent chance of winning this. If you think you know who the Masters winner is, and I assume you're putting a few bets on, take your top 4 guys, tweet us 4 times. I don't mind. Do it. And if one of them comes in, you will have a big sack full of cash. You'll be
Donny,
a smug
that's a rash
saying you're the winner. You'll be a smug. I'm on a flow here, man. Let me go.
Are you?
And you'll also have a fucking Scotty Cameron putter on the way for golf season. Like, that's unbelievable. I want to win it.
It's one entry per person.
Yeah, it's one entry per person. But yeah, please go through this if you want. But your first tweet will be your actual entry. But yeah. Tweet us as much as you want.
Put 20 entries, and I will make sure that they all count. Right?
Well, look, you can set up fake accounts if you want to. I mean, that's fine. But just one entry per account.
Right, we're nearly there, lads. So we'll be back tomorrow. We're going to do first round leader. We're going to do prop bets as well. It won't be as long as this one. This was our main one. Huge thanks to Stephen Brew, as always. Thanks to Jeff Feinberg.
No problem.
Week. Thank you to Brian Kirshner, who's coming on. Thank you to Jason Sobel. Thanks to everyone listening. And let's go, Cam Smith.
And thanks to Rory McIlroy for winning the 2022 US Masters.
All right, guys. Go on. Talk to you soon.
Just take a moment to admire the fact I just hit a fairway.
There's only 2 things that can happen. You can hit a good shot or a bad shot. So why waste time doing it?
And wherever I set course records or whatever, I would be barefooted, drunk, playing golf, making every 20-footer I looked at.
Right at it. Right at it! Oh! He's done it again!
This is the dumbest hole I've ever played in my life.
Come on then, Shane. Knock it close. Shane Lowry is the Open champion.